This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Oh my goodness. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome in. My name is Zach Schomler. This is Strong Opinion Sports, episode 603. Little known fact about me, rhymes with 3. I hate the number 6. I hate saying it out loud. I am not exactly excited for the next 97 episodes. I have to say the number 6 before them. I'm a bit like, dang it, man. My least favorite number. If you can hear me talk, I don't, how do I even say this about myself? Your boy had to overcome a bit of a lisp growing up, right? I had to learn how to say different words and how to enunciate certain things, and not gonna lie to you, that S sound is still not very friendly to me. That 6. I can't, I'm making fun of myself. I can't do it. And I'm like, dude, for 97 more episodes, I gotta say 603, 604, 605. Maybe this will be good for me. It'll force me to grow even better and sound even better talking out loud. I'm like, dang it, man. I guess life always gives you an opportunity to get better, doesn't it? I've got something I want to say about Taylor Swift. I'm not going to open the show with that because I think I would get stoned to death, if I'm totally honest. People would go crazy. So we'll save it for later in the show. But hey, I want to say I have been learning about Taylor Swift, and it's been eye-opening and amazing and fun. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Now, first of all, we got to start by talking about Monday Night Football. All right, I recorded and I forgot to leave a spot for an ad break, so I got to take a short break. I got to pay my rent, got to buy food, got to do what I got to do to survive. So my name is Zach Schomler. I'm going to take a short break. I will be right back. Prize Picks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Prize Picks allows you to make an entry based on player projections, and in 60 seconds, you can enter something like Travis Kelce more than 5 catches, Tyreek Hill more than 100 yards receiving, and Justin Fields less than 200 yards passing. And if your picks are right, you can win money. Making picks makes games more engaging, and you could turn something like $5 into $50. Prize Picks offers quick and easy deposits. You can even use Apple Pay. And they have weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts. For example, there's a weekly event called Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. So put your skills to the test in daily fantasy. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. For a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy, made easy. All right, let's start today's show by talking about Monday Night Football. On Monday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys beat the LA Chargers 20-17. And I want to briefly say I'm really, really happy for Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. Remember during week 5, Sunday Night Football, big game of the week, Dallas Cowboys on the road at the 49ers, and how do I put this kindly? The Cowboys got destroyed. 42-10. It was embarrassing. And, for a minute, put yourself in the shoes of Mike McCarthy. You're the Cowboys head coach. I don't think we humanize him very often, but it's worth doing. He's still a person. I would think going into that game against the 49ers, Mike McCarthy believed, hey, we got 2 potential Super Bowl teams here. The Cowboys, my team, the 49ers, their team. We think we're the 2 best teams in the NFC. We're going to rematch probably in the NFC title game. And he goes out and gets embarrassed 42-10. Your quarterback for the Cowboys throws 3 interceptions. As a coach, that's got to be a really tough loss to swallow. You're like, man, I had all this confidence. I believed in my team. And that loss is on me. And I would think if you're the coach, you're like, what do we have to change? What do we have to do better? How can we bounce back from a loss like this 42-10? That's how you do it. You win 2017, tough game, Monday Night Football on primetime the next week. I just really, like I said, I don't know how great of a coach Mike McCarthy is. I don't know if he's ever going to win another Super Bowl. I don't really have confidence he's the right coach to win Dallas another Super Bowl. But can we celebrate the guy when we can? He's got the Cowboys at 4-2. I worry about their season long term. Like that 49ers team, that game against the 49ers, 42-10. is going to be a loss that is really hard to forget. But, at the same time, all you can do is move forward after that moment. You get your butts kicked. You got to move forward. You got to make adjustments, do better. I thought, hey, great win in a tough spot. Monday Night Football against a good football team in the Chargers. Really, really good win for Mike McCarthy. And I'm happy for him, man. I really am. I also want to say the Cowboys defense is, boy, they're fun to watch, right? I go back to that 49ers game. I know we're talking a lot about this 49ers game, but 2 weeks ago, for like the first quarter of that game, it was close, it was fun, and the highlight to me was watching the Cowboys defense. Same thing again on Monday night here against the Chargers, man. Great tackling, hard hits, one-on-one coverage. Like the Cowboys defense, I'm a former quarterback. I like watching high-level offense. I like watching games that are 42-45, but I still can appreciate a good defense, and this Cowboys defense is really good. They do the little things well. Again, they hit really hard. I wouldn't want to play against them. They're awesome. And in this game on Monday night, Dak Prescott, the Cowboys quarterback, was 21 for 30 passing. He had 272 yards, a touchdown. The key here is that the Cowboys offense had 0 turnovers. They had a punt they muffed. That's technically a fumble, but that's not on the Cowboys offense. I thought the Cowboys looked really good here. Monday night against the Chargers. There's a lot of potential on this team, man. Like I really, really believe going into the year, I was like, hey, this Cowboys team is really good. Can they reach their potential is the question. They've got Dak at quarterback. They've got a head coach, Mike McCarthy. I'm skeptical of both of them. And I thought both of them, that 49ers game, it's going to be hard to forget. It's still in the rearview mirror. It's going to be hanging around for quite a while. It's probably going to follow them all year long. That, hey, in the biggest game of the year for them, their quarterback had 3 interceptions. Their coach looked lost. That's going to be hard for me to forget, but I have an open mind. I want to see Mike McCarthy do well, and I'm happy for him. Again, big win here on Monday night against the Chargers. One guy worth noting that I don't want to hate on him, but I want to acknowledge the situation around him. Michael Gallup, the Cowboys receiver, is having a really disappointing year. Going into the year, I thought, hey, they got Brandon Cooks, they've got CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup. 3 really good receivers, a la Cincinnati, with 3 really good receivers with Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins. We looked at Seattle, Jackson Smith and Jigba, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. We know they've been struggling with protection in Seattle. They've often had only 2 receivers on the field. JSN, the rookie's not getting on the field at all much because they're using a tight end to help block. My point remains the same. I thought there were a couple teams in the NFL that had 3 really good receivers, and I thought Dallas was one of them. I don't know if it's Michael Gallup's getting older. I don't know if he's just not playing as well. He had a moment. Dak threw him a really good ball down the seam. Ball was in his hands. Kind of a tougher catch, but a catchable ball nonetheless. And there was a point. We had Brian Simpson on the show at one point. Brian Simpson DM'd me a year ago maybe. We were talking about the Cowboys, and he's like, tell me Michael Gallup isn't one of the best players at going and getting a jump ball. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. I don't know where that guy went because he used to be amazing at getting contested passes and really physical with his body. Michael Gallup, 6 games into the year, has 18 catches for 204 yards and not a touchdown to speak his name of. No touchdowns at all. And you're like, I had higher expectations for Michael Gallup going into the year. I realize they've got other receivers there, but I will say, whoever's to blame, I don't really feel like I need to blame anybody. But I imagine if you're a Cowboys fan, you're looking at Michael Gallup going, the output's disappointing. We had higher hopes for you. And he had a shot at a really good catch, maybe even a touchdown on Monday night. Couldn't haul it in. It's like, man, that. I'm waiting for him to deliver and make a big play, and it's just not happening. Now, my notes here say something nice about Brandon Staley. Right? I always make fun of the Chargers head coach, Brandon Staley. I've been feeling real negative as I reflect on this show. I'm always hating on people and criticizing people, and I want to say something positive. So here it is. I haven't commented on it yet. Brandon Staley, I like the beard. I think Brandon Staley with a beard this year, he came out of the offseason, had time to grow it out, get past the ugly peach fuzz phase. Brandon Staley with the beard, you're looking good. I like that. That's about all I have, though. So, all right. I said something nice. Kind of frustrating. The Chargers had the ball inside the 10-yard line 2 times in the second half. One time they went for it on 4th down. They didn't get it. Another time they settled for a field goal. It's pretty frustrating to lose a game, by 3 points where you had the ball inside the 10-yard line twice in the second half. Only got 3 points out of those 2 trips to the red zone. That's a problem. The Chargers got the ball down 3 points with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left, and Justin Herbert didn't put together a drive. He threw an interception. I want to ask a question, and I think it's fair to ask, what's the deal with Justin Herbert? Like, I'm not hating on anyone. I know that my reputation of my pre-draft analysis of Justin Herbert coming out of college was negative, and so that will follow me for the rest of my career. Anytime I talk about Justin Herbert, people are going to remind me, remember that time you thought he wasn't right for the NFL? I don't even remember. I don't know what people would say about me, but I know that I'm going to get criticism and pushback about that. But I want to ask a legitimate question. I'm not hating on the guy. When's he going to win? Like, when is Justin Herbert going to become a winning quarterback that wins playoff games and big games and does well in big moments? I'm not mad or frustrated. I'm actually going to kind of lay it out and ask the question, like, I'm not sure what the problem is, but Justin Herbert is 27-27 as a starter in the NFL. That's not good enough, man. This is why I hesitate to blame him, but we'll talk about the circumstance around him. What I do know for sure is Justin Herbert is too good to have no playoff wins, in year 4 of his career. He is 27-27 as a starter. Like, how is it possible that Daniel Jones has won more playoff games than Justin Herbert? What? You ever thought about that? Like, hey, the quarterback everyone says the top 5 amazing quarterback, Justin Herbert, doesn't have a playoff win. In fact, all he has is a game where they had a big lead over the Jaguars and gave up the lead and lost. In fact, if anything, the only time Justin Herbert's been in a playoff game, he had an embarrassing, horrible loss. Not great. And I don't know that Justin Herbert's fully to blame. I don't know how you can look at Justin Herbert's career so far and what I would call the underachievement of it. Given how talented he is, some of the blame has to go on Herbert. There's definitely been moments he could have been better. But then you look at the circumstance around him. He's got a lot of star players, a good offensive line. I know Mike Williams, their receiver's out for the year with a torn ACL, but Mike Williams, has been a player there for his entire career. Keenan Allen. They've got Joshua Palmer at receiver. They've got a first-round receiver, Quentin Johnson, out of TCU. Joshua Kelce, Austin Eckler, so 2 good running backs. Star players on defense. Like, I don't know. When you look at Daniel Jones and the support he's gotten compared to the support of Justin Herbert, you're like, wait, which one of the two has a playoff win? Not the quarterback with the star players and the good receiving core and the good offensive line. Oh, it's the guy that Daniel Jones has a playoff win? What kind of backwards world are we living in? And I also acknowledge Justin Herbert's in the AFC against better quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Joe Burrow's in the AFC, Patrick Mahomes. But how long until Justin Herbert starts winning a lot of games? Like, is it going to happen? And if it's not going to happen, then what? Because, again, he's too talented. He's really, he had a play where 3rd and 5, he throws the ball, it gets tipped back to him, he catches it and runs for a first down. Like, Justin Herbert threw a pass to himself on 3rd down for a first down. He had a throw, he was backed up way in his own territory, made a beautiful big throw to get them kind of out of their own end zone area. But also, along with the good stuff Justin Herbert can do, you have to also acknowledge there were multiple throws that he missed on. They had a double move to Keenan Allen, not once, but twice. It was open for a touchdown or a big gain, and Herbert missed the throw. That can't happen. I'm sorry. The guy making that much money, who's this hyped up, can't miss that throw. Or there was an out route to Keenan Allen. 3rd down, should have been a completion. He throws it in the dirt. He misses the throw. Going back to Justin Herbert in college, the regular criticism I had was he misses easy throws that you can't miss. He's still doing that in year 4 in the NFL. He's also 27-27 as a starter, doesn't have a playoff win, has great players around him everywhere. Great pass rusher, good offensive line, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams when he's healthy, another first-round receiver, Quentin Johnson, good running backs, a new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. Like, at what point? I'm not saying we're there yet. I also want to be clear. I don't hate Justin Herbert. I actually really like him. Like, his personality's fun. He's cool. I'm happy that he's rich as all get out and he's set for life. That makes me happy. I like seeing people get paid. But is there going to be a moment where people look at Justin Herbert and go, that's a talented quarterback that's underachieving? I don't think we're there yet. It's still too early, and he's only had one coach his entire... No, I guess he's had two, hasn't he? Oh boy. Oh, man. So, I don't know. What I'm asking here, when do we look at Justin Herbert as a really talented quarterback, but one who isn't winning and isn't getting it done? I don't think we're there yet, but we are approaching that territory. And, Matthew Stafford was a quarterback for years who was viewed as a really talented quarterback who played on a bad team and never won. And then eventually the narrative shifted from it's not Detroit, maybe it's Matthew Stafford. And he had to leave Detroit to change the narrative about him. We're not there yet, but I do sense rumblings. Like we're getting towards a point where people are starting to dare ask the question, hey, Justin, fourth quarter, down 3, you got to make a play? Like, are you going to show that you're an elite quarterback? Because we've been waiting, and you make highlight level plays regularly, Justin Herbert does. But how about the consistent delivery of victories? We're not getting that from Justin Herbert. He's 27-27 as a starter. One playoff game, never won a playoff game at all. He's been to one, had a horrific loss. I just, is it Herbert? Is it the team around him? Is it the coaching staff? Because the players around him are talented. I mean, again, Daniel Jones would literally to go get, I can't say that. Daniel Jones would literally give anything to play on a roster like Justin Herbert's on right now, with good receivers, a good offensive line, a good running game, star players on defense. I mean, man, a lot of quarterbacks would love to have what Justin Herbert has around him. So, just asking questions out here, not trying to hate on the guy, like him, glad he's paid well, and he makes amazing plays. I mean, Justin Herbert is fun to watch on TV, but, he doesn't win. Sorry, 27-27, year 1 went 7-9, year 2, 9-8, year 3, they went 10-7, now they're 2-3 this year. Justin Herbert, given how good he is at football, given the talent he has, given the physical ability, he's underachieving. He's not winning enough. I don't care what needs to be done yet, whether that's fire the coach, whether that's criticize Justin Herbert. I don't care. I just know that he needs to win more. He's capable of more than what's happening on the field and the wins and losses we're seeing in LA. And it's becoming very slowly a problem for the LA Chargers. To me, I look at what's happening. I'm like, they're not winning enough. The quarterback's missing throws, has receivers open, not hitting them. There was a couple times where, he had a throw. Man, what did he do? He was throwing as he was getting sacked. But on the snap, they had a motion man come across their rookie, run into the flat. He's wide open in the flat. Herbert catches the snap, looks at it, doesn't throw the flat route wide open for some reason, then tries to come back across the field. By that time, he's getting pulled to the ground. He tries to throw the ball as he's getting pulled to the ground. Throw goes low, ball incomplete. It's like, dude, take the easy completion in the flat. What are you doing? Like, Herbert definitely has things worthy of criticism. And I'm not really sure where the criticism is, but I'll be the first one to say, like, hey, there are times where Herbert's got to be better, and he's not delivering, and that's a problem. Sorry, I didn't mean to, hate on Justin Herbert for, 15 minutes. That's not my goal. I really like him as a person. I'm rooting for him. But it is weird. Like, when's he going to win? When's it going to start happening for him? I'm waiting. I want to talk about that Chargers fan. I forget her name. I saw her on Pat McAfee's show. They said her name. I don't remember what it was. Marianne? Probably. That sounds right. There was a Chargers fan on ESPN constantly showing her freaking out. And as an introvert, that makes me deeply uncomfortable. If you ever go to a game with me, I'm stoic when I watch football, right? I have my little... Actually, not true. So I don't if I go to a high school football game or an NFL game and I'm in the crowd, I don't bring a notebook. But when I'm in the press box, for media, I've got my dumb little notebook, and I'm like, ooh, taking notes. Ooh. And when I watch football at my house, when I watch the Super Bowl at a Super Bowl party, I've got notes in front of me writing down great throw by Jalen Hurts, and that commercial was great, and I can't believe on 4th and 7 the team couldn't do this. I'm always taking notes. I'm a nerd. I don't emote very much when I watch football. So when I watch that Chargers fan freaking out, I think her name is Marianne, I go, I would never do that. That makes me wildly uncomfortable. But hey, good for her, right? However, there's a conspiracy theory going around that she is an industry plant, meaning like, they needed a Chargers fan to put on TV going crazy. They put her in a press box. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. First of all, she's got 4 kids, she says. They must be very well off. You're in a press box. You can afford 4 kids. The math in my head goes, how do they make money in that family? Because, press box, 4 kids, that's all expensive to me. But there's a picture. I don't know if it's real or not. It might be fake. Photoshop's out there. I've been tricked before, so I want to acknowledge it might be fake. But there is a picture of what looks like the exact same woman freaking out wearing a Minnesota Vikings jersey. And I'm like, what? I thought you were a massive Chargers fan. Huh. It's weird to me. Then, merely hours later after the game, she's on Pat McAfee's show, doing interviews. I don't know, man. I always wonder the ways I'm being manipulated. I feel like there's endless ways that so many people are manipulating their image of themselves, right? And is it really beyond reproach? Is it really beyond the idea that maybe the Chargers ownership group said, we're going to get someone to be in our stands and be really passionate? Like, sign an NDA, you can't talk about it, you're a paid actor. Like, I don't think it's true, and I hope it's not, because the woman seemed really passionate into football, and we need more of that. We need more women that love sports and love football. Can't hurt to have more women that passionately want to watch football. It's sad that it's come to a conspiracy theory, but given the picture I saw in the Vikings jersey, given the media appearances she's making, given the amount of focus they showed on her, I'm like, is it really, the Chargers fan base is legendary for being like really quiet, not being very big, not having much passion. And is it out of the realm of possibility they paid someone to look excited about their team? Not really to me, but we'll see. I hope it's real. I hope she really does care about the team. I hope she's really a fan. But I find that thing worth mentioning. It's funny and interesting. Like, huh. And I always encourage people, ask a lot of questions. Ask always, like, how am I getting screwed here? Is it possible there's a way I'm getting screwed? Or I'm getting manipulated in some way? I don't know. I don't like being a conspiracy theorist. I hate that part of the internet. But, I look at that and go, interesting. I'm not sure how much is real and how much is fake. I don't know. Yeah. How about manipulation? I want to talk about Taylor Swift. The best thing about this so Travis Kelce, the Chiefs tight end, is dating Taylor Swift. Is it fake? Maybe. If it's fake, it's working on me, right? I will say this. I'm a football guy. I've always been a football guy. I've never been like a Swiftie. Like I've never been to a Taylor Swift concert. I couldn't name you very many of her songs, but I like what I've heard. Like I think of Love Story from back in the day. It's a love story, baby. I'm not going to sing it, but baby, you take me. I'm trying to think of music videos where she's like in her house with like the boy next door and they're like looking in the window and he's dating the cheerleader and she's always underappreciated. Like, great music video. Love the song. I'll be waiting. Da-na-na-na-na-na. You know the song if you know what I'm talking about. So I know like some of her music, but I'm not like a deep Taylor Swift fan. If this is all fake, I feel like I'm the target audience for this. If Taylor Swift is literally only dating Travis Kelce to build her audience even bigger, it's working on me. Because the best thing about this Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce dating thing is it's really introduced me to Taylor Swift. I feel like I'm the rare person who's a football guy who knows more about football than Taylor Swift. I think most people were Taylor Swift fans who have become football fans because they follow Taylor Swift. She's a bigger thing literally than the entire NFL. But I want to say I've been enjoying like learning about Taylor Swift and like learning about her music and learning about what she's doing. I was at the beach yesterday with my friend and she was talking about how the Taylor Swift concerts are in theaters, and I was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" I for some reason I know Taylor Swift bought out. She had a deal with what's the word here? Theater companies, and has her own thing going live. You can go watch in movie theaters right now. I thought for some reason it was like a documentary about her Eras tour. I didn't realize that if you go to theaters right now, you can literally watch the 3-hour Taylor Swift Eras tour concert. I was like, oh, it's a concert. It's never been done before. It's you can go to a movie theater with all your friends, get fucking wasted, honestly, have fun, sing Taylor Swift songs really loudly, and enjoy a concert on the screen. I think that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I didn't know about that. I thought it was a documentary. I thought I was too poor to ever go to a Taylor Swift concert. But I'm like, no, for like the price of a movie theater ticket, I can go, and I probably will go next week now to a Taylor Swift, whatever you call that. Is it a concert? It's a live taping of the concert that they play on a projector. I don't know, but it sounds fun. And I'm watching videos of people. I mean, God, I feel bad for the guy who's like earnestly trying to watch a movie like in the next theater over, and you hear in the background screaming and singing from Taylor Swift fans. But I kind of want to do it. It feels like a cultural experience to go watch the Taylor Swift concert in theaters. I want to do that, man. It really looks fun. It's interesting. I know very little, but as I looked at the set list, I'm like, I know more Taylor Swift songs than I realized. Like I'm kind of playing like snippets of every song she's been playing in that concert performance, and I'm like, oh, I know like all this music, and I really didn't realize that. Like it's just songs you hear on the radio and in the background of your life, and I don't know. I think I'm going to go to a Taylor Swift concert. So I guess this whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing, are they going to get married? I have no idea. Who knows? I will say in defense of Taylor Swift, people get mad at her for like dating lots of men. And like, I think you look at Taylor Swift, she's dated a bunch of actors like back to back to back to back. Tom Hiddleston's the one that stands out to me. I really like him as an actor. Go watch The Night Manager. It's a great series on Amazon that nobody talks about, and I hate it. The Night Manager is amazing. Got Tom Hiddleston, but she dated him. I know she dated Jake Gyllenhaal. Like Taylor Swift has dated a ton of like attractive, amazing men, and it's like that's kind of awesome. I think like if I could date like back to back actresses for like 10 women in a row, I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be like, wow, Zach's living his best life. Taylor Swift is doing that. I really don't know. The more I learn about Taylor Swift, the more I like her. The more I realize, like, hey, she's making it possible for people that can't afford to go see her concert live to go see it in movie theaters with their friends and kind of get 80% of the experience anyway. I just really like Taylor Swift, and I never would have gotten here. I never would have had her on my radar at all without her dating Travis Kelce. So I've shoehorned it into today's podcast, but man, am I becoming like a fan of her. I really, I never thought, I kind of struggle with really rich people. It makes me angry and grumpy. Like, I hate how much money they have, but I can't find myself to hate on Taylor Swift. She's just awesome. And it makes me want to marry like a powerful, really cool woman. I'm like, man, okay. Taylor Swift she's her. She's awesome. And I don't know. I guess people listen to this show. It's mostly men. Do you want to go have a good time? I want to have a good time in my life. I think I'm going to go watch that Taylor Swift concert in theaters, and I actually would encourage you to do it. Not sponsored, nothing like that, but it looks fun, and I'm going to go do it and report back to you whether it's fun or not. It just sounds awesome to me, and I don't know, it's a Tuesday, and that's what's on my mind today. I saw a really cool picture yesterday of Travis Kelce, see what I did there? We're transitioning now. Travis Kelce and his brother Jason Kelce. Travis Kelce, the tight end for Kansas City. Jason Kelce, the center for Philly. They were at the Phillies NLCS game on Monday night against Arizona. And I just want to comment, like, that's so cool. To be two brothers, they're both pro football players. You do a podcast together. You can go to baseball games together. They seem like awesome guys. I really look at the relationship between Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce, and just that's the goal. If you're a dude who has brothers, like that's what you want to do with your brother. You want to have that life and that kind of relationship. And it makes me miss, my brother died, took his own life in 2016. It's awful. And anytime I say that, I feel like I need to tell you, if you're struggling, go get help. It's painful and brutal. It's been years now. It's been seven years now that he's been gone. So I'm a little more okay talking about it now, but it's still like I look at Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce watching a baseball game together and I go, oh, that's so cool. I really wish I could do that with my brother. And, I really encourage you, if you're out there, appreciate the people you have in your life, appreciate your family members. There's little moments you get. My other brother lives in Alaska, in Fairbanks. It's funny, both of us left the lower 48. He went to Alaska, I went to Hawaii. I don't see him very often. It's moments like that where I go, next time I see my little brother Zeke, I got to give the dude a hug. I got to make sure he knows how much I love him and send him a text here and there. Like, there are little things you can do to care for the people in your life. And I just had watching Jason and Travis Kelce watch a baseball game together yesterday made me go like, oh man, that's awesome. And I wish I could do that. So I don't know. Tell the people in your life you love them. I will say the MLB playoffs have finally, it's the time of year where baseball, every year, right around this time, in October, the NLCS, the ALCS, the games to get into the World Series, they start to suck me in. And this year, we've got really compelling people. We've got Bryce Harper is, Bryce Harper is my favorite baseball player, has been for a long time. I go back, if you really want to do the hard work and the heavy lifting, go listen to like the first 600 episodes of this show. I talked about Bryce Harper a lot, especially early on, because remember Bryce Harper was getting hated on and people didn't like him and he left Washington. And I've always been a fan of Bryce Harper. He's awesome. I think his personality is good for baseball. Right now, Philly's leading the NLCS 1-0. I believe they're playing a baseball game literally right now in Game 2 tonight, which is Tuesday night. Let me check that. Right now, is there a game happening? There is. The Phillies lead the Diamondbacks 2-0, bottom of the third inning, end of the third inning. Awesome. Go Phillies. I want to see Philadelphia go to the World Series. That would be awesome. On Monday night, ALCS Game 2, the Rangers beat Houston 5-4. It's cool. The Texas Rangers, which are basically the Dallas-Fort Worth team, is playing Houston. You're like, man, that's really special and really cool to have the two Texas teams playing against each other in the game to get into the World Series. It's regional, but it's fun. And I love Dallas. I also hate Houston for cheating, so I'm always going to root for the Texas Rangers there. I guess the World Series I want is the Rangers against the Phillies, and I'm rooting for ultimately Bryce Harper to finally get a World Series ring. He lost the World Series last year. It was painful. I was sad watching that. This year, we get to watch Bryce Harper hopefully win a World Series this year, and I'd like to see him do it against the Texas Rangers. Doing a show daily, like 5 days a week, makes it way more easy to cover baseball. And I think from this point on, you're going to see Zach about once an episode slip in a little baseball. Did you see that game last night? Because I'm watching all these games now. I'm really, really into the MLB playoffs. It's been fun. It's been interesting. And I'll tell you what, the same way I love a really competitive, really close football game where it's, fourth quarter. Honestly, like we got on Monday Night Football, we had the Chargers had the ball with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left, down 3 points, needing to score. Now, the moment was short-lived. They didn't get a first down. Justin throws an interception. It was kind of underwhelming. But that moment, that tense moment where you're like, oh, either team could win here. I get that same feeling when I watch playoff baseball and there's a runner on second base. Like every pitch feels like, hey, a base hit scores that runner, and then it's a 1-0 lead. Like it's really, really tense for me. And I love that moment of tension that baseball can provide. And I don't know. I get into baseball once every year around the end of October. I'm doing it again this year, and I am fine with that. I love playoff baseball. It's fantastic. All right, remember, I forgot to record little ad breaks, so I messed up. So here's an awkward cut, but I love you, and I got to pay my bills. So take a listen to me talking about our incredible sponsor, who I love you. Thank you for paying my bills. Hey guys, it's kind of a big deal here. I'm actually trying to help you, so don't skip the ad. I know that when you listen to a podcast, you skip ahead. I know that because that's what I do, but don't skip this one. We got Factor as a sponsor, and I was sitting down to prepare my little ad read. They give, I write a piece of paper with a bunch of notes, and I'm like, okay, what are they offering? What's the deal here? Usually it's like 10 to 20%. Like, okay, factor.com/SOS, whatever. And no. They are offering 50% off to Strong Opinion Sports listeners. And here's what they are. Factor is a meal kit service. You can get 50% off. Go to factormeals.com/SOS50 and use code SOS50. And straight up on a human level, if you'd be kind of silly not to investigate, it's a great deal. Factor is a meal kit service. They send you ready-to-eat meals. They're easy to prepare. For me, they showed up in a box with a bunch of high-quality ice packs. You take them out of the box, you put the meal kits in the fridge, and when you want food, you go to the fridge, you take it out, you put the thing in the microwave, you heat it up, 2 minutes later, you've got a really good meal ready to go. Now, the microwave part made me kind of go, what is this? Is it a bunch of TV dinners? Like, what is this crap? No, this is phenomenal food. It's high quality, it's never frozen, and compared to all the other options you can have for a quick and easy meal, it kind of kicks booty and is phenomenal. So, what I really think is interesting, too, there's so many ways to customize your order, whether you are maybe you're on a diet and you're like, hey, I'm trying to cut calories. There are low-calorie options. Or maybe you just want really good food that's easy to make and doesn't take 30 minutes to an hour out of your time cooking during the day. Like for me, I'm really busy with football season, and it's an incredibly valuable thing for me to go to my fridge, grab a really good meal, pull it out, put it in the microwave. 2 minutes later, I've got a good meal ready to go. I saved a lot of time. It's cheaper for you and better than takeout or delivery. I used to drive for a delivery service. Guys, those prices are not good compared to this. So again, it's just nice to have the fridge loaded with high quality, good meals that are easy to prepare. And you can get 50% off of this meal kit service. Do the math. That's a really good offer. So head to factormeals.com/SOS50 and use code SOS50 to get 50% off. That is factormeals.com/SOS50. Use code SOS50 to get 50% off. Again, code SOS50 at factormeals.com/SOS50 to get 50% off. And guys, it's a great offer. You would be silly. I'm trying to help you. Like, that would be a great thing to investigate because it's legitimately a great deal. Food's expensive right now, and having food that's great and convenient and not terrible for you is a rare thing. So investigate it. Factormeals.com/SOS50. All right, we got news today. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson is likely out for the year. I think we got the news technically yesterday on Monday. He had a shoulder injury. He's getting shoulder surgery. On the year, Anthony Richardson played in less than 4 games, but he played a total of snaps. He appeared in 4 games, but never multiple games he got hurt. But he had 577 yards passing, 3 touchdowns passing, 1 interception. He ran the ball 25 times for 136 yards and 4 more touchdowns. So the dude was balling, man. I really thought that the very little football we saw Anthony Richardson play, he looked really awesome. And it kind of reminds me, it's not a great parallel, but I remember when Deshaun Watson was a rookie out of Clemson playing for Houston. He got hurt his rookie year. He tore his ACL. He played in I think he got hurt after week 8. He got hurt in practice, if I remember. They played, who did they play? I'm weird. I really remember this crazy stuff of football. I think they played Seattle. I think it was week 8. But then in practice the next week he tore his ACL. And he was playing outstanding. He had a game, Kansas City, I think, 5 touchdown passes. I remember Deshaun Watson having the best year rookie quarterbacks ever had, just going this dude's incredible. And I'm not saying Anthony Richardson was quite that good, but man, he was really balling out, playing outstanding football. I'm sad to see him hurt. I hope that in the future, Anthony Richardson can slide, get down, take care of your body, do the little things required to stay healthy and stay on the field. But I wanted to acknowledge that. I find that really sad. Anthony Richardson's season is cut short, and we'll see him next year. I'm sad about that, though. I really thought he was playing good football, and it was fun to watch. And you know what we can do, though? If Anthony Richardson's season is over, he only played in 4 games, I can break down those 4 games and talk about the rookie season that was Anthony Richardson. So that's definitely going to be a film analysis video. I don't like doing it mid-season. I hate it because it just, things are always evolving and changing, and I like doing when the season is over, going through the way a player played and breaking it all down. But we can already do that about one quarterback, rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson. That'll be fun. And I guess I'll say it. We'll do it next week. Bam. I know now what to work on. I never thought about that. I'm so dumb. It hits me great idea, Zach. You should have done that weeks ago. But yeah, that's a video we'll put out next week then, a film analysis of Anthony Richardson, and it'll be awesome. I can't wait to do that. Can't wait to watch all of his games again. I really thought that what I saw was awesome, and a lot of talent there, and it'll be fun to break down on film. In college football this weekend, we have a really, really incredible game. A game that, it starts at 6 a.m. on Saturday morning for me. I got to go to bed early Friday night. I got to watch this game live. I do not want spoilers. I don't want to see what happens on Instagram. Randomly, I'm scrolling. I'm crap, someone put the score there. And I can't watch this game recorded on DVR. I got to watch this game live. Number 7 Penn State plays at number 3 Ohio State. I'm not missing that game for anything. Both teams are 6-0. We saw Ohio State play Notre Dame earlier this year. That's a great opportunity where I saw Kyle McCord, the Ohio State new quarterback. He was fine. The quarterback I'm really interested in, though, frankly, is Drew Aller, the Penn State quarterback. Both quarterbacks at Ohio State and Penn State are new as of this year, like new starters. And Drew Aller is a sophomore. He's massive. He's physically really imposing. Like, this is a big kid. He can run, can throw. Man, game at the Horseshoe in Columbus, and that's what they call it, right? They call it the Horseshoe, I'm pretty sure. I think, man, if I'm wrong about that, it's crazy. Like, I can remember when Deshaun Watson got hurt as a rookie, but I can't remember the name, like the nickname of the stadium in Columbus. I'm like, what's wrong with my brain? But I really can't wait to watch Penn State play at Ohio State. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be really interesting. I'm kind of sad Penn State isn't in the top 5. I mean, they're 6-0. I really would have thought maybe they'd be right there, but I thought it'd be number 5 against number 3, quite frankly. But I can't wait to watch that. I'm really curious, who are the top 25 teams in college football? Let's find out. So you got, really, Georgia's number 1, Michigan's number 2, Ohio State 3, Florida State 4, Washington 5 at 6-0, Oklahoma 6 at 6-0, and Penn State, of all the teams that are undefeated, they are the last team ranked, the number 7 team in the country. If Penn State beats Ohio State, they better not be the lowest ranked undefeated team next week. That would be shameful to me. Although, Oklahoma, they had a great win. Oklahoma, okay, so Texas is 5-1. They're the number 8 team in the country, so that makes sense why Oklahoma's ahead of them. Man, it's interesting. Georgia, they're 7-0, but it does feel to me like Georgia is a sketchy 7-0, right? They've had a lot of really close kind of, like South Carolina in the first half, I thought had Georgia, and you're like, Georgia, the best team in the country? Like, really? Like, they kind of faltered a little bit a couple times this year. And then Florida State, there's another great game. Number 16 Duke, who's, we got one loss. Their only loss at Duke. They're 5-1. The only loss was to Notre Dame on like a last-second play. So Duke plays at number 4 Florida State. The player to watch at Florida State is Keon Coleman, their receiver, transferred in. The dude looks like a first-round receiver. Keon Coleman is making play after play. He had a catch last weekend, like one-handed, like jumping, and you're like, man, that's just an unbelievable play. The receiver, Keon Coleman at Florida State, is crazy good. Florida State's 6-0 right now. And then another good game, neither team is undefeated, but number 14, Utah, plays at number 18, USC. Utah's 5-1, USC is 6-1. USC can't play defense to save their lives, but they got embarrassed last weekend. I would imagine USC comes back a little better next weekend than they did this past weekend. I don't know, man. I really think, though, that if you only watch one game in college football all weekend, you got to watch Penn State at Ohio State. That's the game that, like, hey, plan your Saturday, right? Go to the people. What do they do in October on the mainland? You guys go to pumpkin fields. You got pumpkin patches is the word. Pumpkin patch. You go see your family for dinner, maybe. Go to walk the dogs. But make sure you're in front of your TV from Penn State at Ohio State, because it really feels like that's going to be a special, fun, hyped up, really interesting and compelling college football game. And that's the one game this weekend. If you're going to watch only one game in college football, that is for sure the game you watch. All right. I want to mention in a weird way. I realized I wrote the wrong name here. Stephen A. Smith. I want to say in a weird way. Remember, so Colorado this past weekend lost. They had a lead 29-0 over Stanford at halftime. And then Colorado ended up allowing Stanford to come back. And Colorado lost in double overtime, 46-43. And I do say, I really feel like this loss is actually kind of a good thing for Colorado and Deion Sanders. When you lose to Oregon, you lose to USC, it's easy to go, they're just better than us. We'll be there eventually. This is a loss that when you lose to Stanford, a lowly program, in the second half, after leading 29-0 at halftime, allowing them to come back and beat you in double overtime, that's a story Deion Sanders can pull from for years. He'll always say, I remember my first year at Colorado. We got all cocky. We thought we were really hot stuff. We were up 29-0 over Stanford, and guess what? We allowed them to come back and beat us. So never get complacent. And Deion Sanders said that regularly in his post-game press conference. He called his team complacent. And he was even asked about illegal substitution penalties on the defense and what's going on with the defense. And he said, if you're going to point fingers, point them at me. And I really like that. Deion taking accountability there. taking the blame. What happened for Colorado, losing to Stanford 46-43 in double overtime after leading 29-0, not good at all. But there could be a good outcome here, which is something that, Nick Saban always talks about. You see Nick Saban when he's got a really good football team. I think sometimes when they play a bad game and almost lose or even do lose, he's kind of happy because there's a new way to motivate his guys. Like, when you're winning and dominating everybody, it's easy to get really, complacent's a great word, kind of cocky, feeling really good about yourself. This is a story Deion can use for the rest of his life coaching, saying, never get complacent. This is what happens when you do that. When you're winning 29-0, you got to keep your foot on the gas, keep playing at a high level, and beat them 56-0, not 29-0, and do not let them come back. And in a weird way, it's a painful loss right now, but in the totality of Deion Sanders' entire coaching career, I think this could be a helpful loss that he allows to be a motivating factor in the future for Colorado and wherever he may coach beyond Colorado. I'm personally hoping he stays at Colorado for a really, really long time. Okay, I saw a clip of my favorite sportscaster. I say that sarcastically. I hate this guy. I think he's bad for sports media generally. There's a great video of Stephen A. Smith, the ESPN broadcaster, literally saying on TV, Tua only throws 2-yard passes to Tyreek Hill, and he's talking crap about Tua. Meanwhile, on screen, on the show, in the background, is Tua literally throwing a 50-yard bomb to Tyreek Hill. And you're like, what? And I want to just say for a minute, Stephen A. Smith is a really good troll. He's a great performer. I don't think he believes half of the stuff he says. I think he really just speaks out of his butt and says whatever to make people riled up and make people angry, and then collects millions of dollars for it. And I get so discouraged when I think about Stephen A. Smith. Another one that bothers me is Logan Paul. Like, people watch these, like, really, I would say Logan is worse than Stephen A. Smith, but when I see, like, people watching Stephen A. Smith and loving it, and it makes me really realize I must be really out of touch with what sports fans like. Because I would never give that my like an hour of my life. I don't understand people that watch Stephen A. Smith and watch First Take. I don't get it. It's theater, it's yelling. I want to watch people being coherent and thoughtful. And if you're going to have a conversation, but don't be screaming at each other. Have debate, sure. But I thought the one time that First Take had a guy that really wanted to have conversation with Stephen A. Smith got him fired. Like, it's crazy. I mean, it's so clear to me Stephen A. Smith doesn't want to have conversation, doesn't want to be challenged, doesn't want to have genuine, real conversation about sports. He wants to yell at people and have theater. And the fact that people watch him, it makes me like, I'm like, should I go? I go, like, what am I doing? Like, what? I'm clearly so off base, like the way I do my show and the way I carry myself could not be farther from what Stephen A. Smith does. I'm like, is that what people want? Because I don't want to do that ever. And it irritates me. I want to end the show this way with a positive thing. I asked you guys, what have you been doing recently to care for yourself, to make yourself happy and make this weird rock in the middle of space feel better for you? I have been doing something. I've been really enjoying this candy called Raisinets, which the humble chocolate-covered raisin. Never would have thought I'd be so excited about them, but they really hit the spot. Chocolate-covered raisins, Raisinets. They've been outstanding. I do that. I get Raisinets. I pour them all on my desk and just let them sit there, and I pick one at a time. And I hold my Xbox controller, and I've been playing recently the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, which is the remaster or re-release of the Tomb Raider reboot when they first brought Tomb Raider back in kind of the Uncharted style. Man, that game is hitting so hard. I'm trying to 100% it. I'm getting all the collectibles. I'm really taking my time running around. Combat's really fun. The story's interesting. And that's something I've been doing recently to care for myself. Another thing, some vitamins. I found a place here legally that sells them, which is crazy, but there's a type of vitamins that are so low level. I'm trying to be careful with my words to not get YouTube mad at me, but there's a type of delta, the number that means no in German, that is like a low enough level you can buy them legally, and then you take one. It's enough for me. I go to the beach. I'm like, look at that sunset. It's the most amazing sunset of my entire life. Those are things I've been doing recently to care for myself. Raisinets, Tomb Raider, vitamins on the beach. I love that. And I want to encourage you, go do something today, tomorrow, this week to care for yourself. Whatever that looks like, do something for you. And if you want to comment, tell me the things you're doing recently to care for yourself. Let me know. We all got to do that. I'm pretty bad at that, taking moments to relax, enjoy life, and kind of smell the roses. And so I want to encourage you guys out there, whatever your thing looks like, whether it's, for me, it's Raisinets and Tomb Raider or going to the beach, but whatever you can do in your life to care for yourself, go do that. It's really good for you, and it's been making my life a little better recently. Guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Tomorrow we got, I'm doing a lot of episodes tomorrow. I'm doing a lot of recording tomorrow. I'm recording 2 episodes. I'm doing the fantasy football episode, myself recording. Then I'm recording a segment with Logan, my friend I played against him in fantasy football this week. I'll tell you how my team did tomorrow. I'm also recording another full episode of Strong Opinion Sports, doing a show where I comment on every single NFL team 6 weeks into the year, kind of comment on how they're doing, what's the main storyline for them. It'll be a fun episode. A lot of stuff I got to work on tonight to kind of get ready for that. But I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. And if you want a good time, I can't say enough. Oh gosh, I just realized I didn't do any ad breaks at all this entire podcast. That's a problem. My bad. I'm going to have to go back and be like, forgot to record ad breaks. Here they are right now and play them. But not an ad, just it looks fun. I want to go see that Taylor Swift concert in theaters. That looks awesome. My favorite concert of all time, look up John Bellion Cove City on YouTube. You'll find John Bellion in a room at Cove City Records, just like with his friends, a sousaphone, like jamming out, having fun. I encourage you to go watch that. Oh, and by the way, yesterday, as I'm ending the show, I was walking through the mall here in Ala Moana, and there was a band of 8 tuba players playing like tuba music together. And it was like, I'm like, I didn't know you could have an entire band of just tubas, but it was wild. It was fun. And I don't know. Send me, please, if you end up, what I want to see happen, which would be amazing, is if 8 really tough dudes, like guys who do HVAC or guys who played college football. I want to see I don't want to see the guys who are I want to see dudes who, how do I even put this properly? I feel like no matter what I say, I'm going to get in trouble. I want to see you guys take your guy friends and go to a Taylor Swift concert, basically. That would be, for the price of a movie theater ticket, you can go watch it. And it just looks fun, man. I get a little bit in the sauce and some vitamins, or that's what Magby calls them. What do we call them here? Jazz cabbage. Some jazz cabbage. Taylor Swift concert. I don't know. I never thought I could afford to go to a Taylor Swift concert. Looks like I can now, which makes me love Taylor even more. Guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Hope you have a great day. Woo! Got a lot to talk about tomorrow. I leave you with that question, though. When's Justin Herbert going to win? When is it going to happen? Been waiting and waiting. 27-27. Loses on Monday night. I don't know, man. Justin Herbert. I'm going to think about that for a while. When is Justin Herbert going to figure it out? And what does he got to do? Is it the team? Is it him? The players around him? I don't know. But I'm going to think about that all night, probably. What's going on with Justin Herbert? Guys, I love you. Appreciate you. Hope you have a great day. And bam, we are done.